Morning? Brilliant. It's great to be back in Mumbai for what promises to be a bigger, better, bolder summit this year. And you know why? Because this year, it's all about India leading. Let me start by sharing two examples which will highlight this. Picture this. Two satellites in orbit at a speed of 28,800 kilometers per hour. They locate each other, they make contact. And I am talking about physical contact, which requires millimeter level precision. In January of 2025, India became one of only 4 countries globally to achieve autonomous space docking. Through ISRO's, thank you, through ISRO's SpaceX mission. And the lifeline for the communication support was the Amazon ground station. When a satellite is in orbit, it establishes connect with any station for 10 minutes per pass. But when that same satellite is docking, you cannot afford to lose communication even for a second. The Amazon ground station provided uninterrupted 20,000 antenna minutes, which is 333 plus hours of communication with the satellites for that precision level, millimeter precision level support. And that actually decides the difference or makes the difference between failure or success. Today, AWS is also going to be part of Gaganyaan, which is ISRO's mission to send humans in spacecrafts. Class 10, 12, result day, special day. In India, it's just not the students, it's the entire family which awaits eagerly. Unless, of course, you've been a student like me. But that for another day. This year, CBSC, ICSC, and 20 state board results for class 10th and 12th were delivered successfully through DigiLocker, which is powered by AWS. Thank you. 22.6 million student results were delivered near real time. 0 defects, 0 downtime, 0 failures. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the AWS resiliency, the AWS reliability operating at scale. This year, we complete 20 years of AWS. Yes, AWS has now been in existence for 20 years, and we are a customer-obsessed company. On that note, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our customers for reposing their faith and trust in us. To our summit partners, thank you. To our summit partners, global and local, thank you for your unwavering support and commitment. India continues to be a very strategic market for AWS. And it's not without a reason. India as a country stands at an extraordinary inflection point today. We continue to be one of the fastest growing economies globally. We're on the cusp of becoming a $1 trillion digital economy. But our success with AI will depend on our ability to democratize technology, when every citizen will be able to create and consume AI. And our digital public infrastructure will underpin this success, whether it is UPI or Aadhaar. But the true North Star for innovation in AI depends on 3 critical factors: inclusion, scale, and impact at the grassroots level. And let's look at all three. India is home to more than 715 million extraordinary women, 280 of whom are working women. But till date, there wasn't a platform which was catering to their financial or wealth management needs. With Lakshmi, all of that changed. Lakshmi is a platform that caters exclusively to the financial and wealth management need of our women, whether it is learning, investments, or lending. Built on AWS, Lakshmi provides a hyper-personalized wealth management experience for every woman, irrespective of where she lives or how much she earns. The idea is to get to 100 million women with a corpus of 5 crores. That is not financial inclusion, it's a new financial revolution. I talked about scale. UPI. As a country, India today manages close to 21 billion UPI transactions monthly. 21 billion. And what's more, each and every one of them settles instantaneously. Today, banks are being forced to ask the question, then can our core banking infrastructure keep pace with the rising volumes in UPI transactions? And that's where Kotak and AWS partnered to create their augmented core strategy, where they created a meta layer on top of their core banking infrastructure to manage the UPI transactions. The result, with more than 1 billion plus UPI transactions monthly, Kotak has been able to reduce their latency by 1/5. It's no longer about coping up or catching up. It's about staying ahead through innovation. This one is my favorite, and I've used it every time in every one of my summit. Impact at grassroots level. The Ministry of Women and Child Development's Poshan Tracker app, which is helping in India's winning fight against undernutrition. Today, more than 1.4 million Anganwadi centers use this platform to service more than 100 million beneficiaries, 80 million of whom are children under the age of 6. Using Amazon's recognition for visual identification, Poshan Tracker has been able to create an unbroken link from policy to plate. The result? Every single rupee that the government spends reaches the right child, the right mother, the right beneficiary. Over the course of the last 12 months, I had this incredible opportunity to meet a cross-section of builders, from our partners, our customers, our developers, and there was one overarching feedback. Please allow us the flexibility to choose what models work best for our workloads. I'm very pleased to announce that Anthropic and OpenAI frontier models will now be available on Amazon Bedrock in the Mumbai region in the future. So whether it is GPT-5, Opus, or Haiku, they'll be available from India for India. And we continue as Amazon to deepen our investment in India. Between now and 2030, across all Amazon businesses, we will invest $35 billion, which is over and above the $40 billion that we've already invested, which has helped digitize more than 12 million MSMEs and has generated 20 billion in exports. Our regions across Mumbai and Hyderabad are ready to fuel the next level of growth in India. All these numbers tell us a story about scale. But honestly, scale without purpose is just another statistic. As AWS, we feel very fortunate to be that platform which transmits this purpose to millions of Indians across the country. Even as we speak, there's a child that's getting a meal through our platform. A small business owner is getting access to new growth opportunities. A farmer is being able to protect his crop because of access to technology. A young professional is getting access to enhanced career opportunities because of skilling and education. And that list just goes on. On that note, can I have the AV, please?
Every day, more than 60,000 children are born in India. Each life is a promise. Across 1.4 million Anganwadi centers, technology becomes care. Through Poshan Tracker, nutrition for 88 million children under 6 is monitored. When 25 million students checked their CBSE results in a single day, DigiLocker didn't just deliver, it thrived. Today, 62.9 crore Indians access their documents digitally, while education platforms empower students, preparing them for tomorrow. From school certificates to university admissions through Samarth 2.0, 20 million students are connected. Education opens the mind, skills open the world. Through Skill India Digital Hub, 150,000 training centers deliver AI-driven assessments and personalized learning journeys. Because when opportunity reaches everyone, welfare becomes dignity, and dignity becomes joy. When time means life, AWS-powered AI automates 15,000 claims every day for 550 million Ayushman Bharat PMJ beneficiaries.
In Digital India, healthcare becomes better and insurance providers reduce processing time from days to hours.
GEM processes $63 billion annually, enabling 181,000 women entrepreneurs to secure $5.88 billion in orders. Through Maha IT's DBT platform, 66 welfare schemes disburse 37,582 crore rupees directly to 4.21 crore Aadhaar-linked accounts. Financial independence becomes frictionless for millions of Indians when they access their banks, make payments, save and grow their wealth and insure themselves against risks. In the fields that feed the nation, 28 million farmers across 410,000 villages connect with 3,000 ICAR scientists. Kisan Sarthi provides expert guidance in local languages. From Indian farms to millions of Indian tables, from fresh ingredients delivered at speed or ready meals, India's food security is assured. From loom to home without middlemen, Ministry of Textiles India Handmade gives India's 3,600 artisans and weavers a fair voice, a fair price and a global stage for 23,000 handcrafted stories. And every Indian can now express their own style. By transforming urban living through 81,000 plus public toilets, 66.8 lakh household toilets and 96% door-to-door waste collection, we are advancing public health, dignity and India's vision of garbage-free cities. On the move, India flows better. From bus rides to railways, from cab services to airlines, planned and booked digitally. From the vehicles that move India to the tires and fuels that move the vehicles. On highways, FASTag annual pass handled 35,000 concurrent users on launch day. Work to leisure at your fingertips. 77 million seamless journeys enabled by DigiYatra across 24 airports in 25 languages. From 88 million children's nutrition to 400 million learners' dreams. From 28 million farmers' fields to 550 million patients' care. From 62.9 crore DigiLocker users to 1.4 billion possibilities. This is technology in service of humanity. This is progress with purpose. This is welfare that reaches everyone. This is happiness that lasts. One cloud, one nation, infinite impact. AWS
it's now my pleasure to invite our next speaker, Jigar Thakkar, VP AWS Agentic AI.
Good morning, Mumbai. There you go. I love this city and I love your energy. It's so great to see all of you here. People who want to learn, people who want to build, and people who want to invent. People who are not afraid to ask the question, why? Because I think every great invention in history has started with why. Why does this have to be done this way? Why can't it be simpler, faster, or better? At AWS, these are our favorite questions. And we want to remove every barrier standing between your imagination and reality. Your wildest why deserves our most enthusiastic why not. Because often, the most powerful discoveries happen when we approach the world with relentless curiosity. Few people embody the compassion and courage quite like Dr. Jane Goodall. For over 65 years, Jane and her team documented chimpanzee behavior in the wild research that continues to this day. It is one of the most comprehensive primate research archives in the world. But most of this invaluable data was locked away in analog format, handwritten notes and film and observational data. The Jane Goodall Institute partnered with AWS to transform what can be done with this data. Using Amazon Bedrock and Amazon SageMaker, they're converting handwritten notes and film and digital formats. And leveraging a chimpanzee facial identification tool developed by Oxford University, they're building a comprehensive AI-powered information for decades of learning, like identifying specific chimpanzee name by tracking their behaviors. For last 65 years of groundbreaking research, this will be accessible and ready to unlock discoveries we can't even imagine. Stories like this are perfect examples of what is possible when researchers have the right tools. And giving you the right tools and services has been our focus from day one. Because the right tool can make a seemingly impossible task feel effortless. AI agents are taking this one step further, with capabilities to run tasks that took years into ones that can get done in days or even hours. Why should building software feel like fighting your tools instead of expressing your ideas? With agents, we are completely reimagining the way we build software. AI-powered development tools have evolved rapidly over the last year. But as these tools become more powerful, we have noticed a gap. They were generating code, but the builders could not guide the process or ensure it aligned with the way the team worked and their standards. We wanted to take what is exciting about AI-powered software development and add the structure that the developers need. Say hello to Kiro. Kiro works with you, turning your prompts into detailed specs, and those specs turn into working code. Kiro gives you full user stories, acceptance criteria, technical design documents with architectural diagrams, and all the sequence flows you need. Everything that you would spend normally hours to work on. And you can jump into any point and ask Kiro for changes. Let's hear from developers who experience what Kiro can do for you.
I use Kiro in almost all the development I do. I ask it questions, I create specs with it.
With Kiro, I was able to ship more code in the last 5 months than in the past 10 years.
With Kiro, I'm able to work with a partner, so it feels like we're collaborating on the project together.
It operates the way my brain operates when solving a problem. I can just say, hey, Kira, remember that feature we added in? Can you also write a test as well?
I can be hands-off. Once I break the problem down and just let Kiro deliver for me.
I feel like my world has just opened up to a completely different perspective.
Everything feels possible now.
You can go from 0 to POC 10 times faster.
Kiro makes me want to build more.
Honestly, Kiro is just awesome.
Now, what can agents do for all users, all business users in every function of your company? The way we work is not working. Every day, brilliant people lose hours doing work that doesn't require their expertise. Assembling context, chasing information, reconstructing decisions that were made somewhere else already. Why do we accept all of this? Why should we have AI be yet another tool that you go to with a blank box that doesn't know anything about your work? That's not good enough. Why not have AI that already understands your world, your work, and most importantly, an AI that understands you? That's Amazon Quick. It connects all your work, your applications, your tools, your data, regardless of your vendor or regardless of the data type, structured and unstructured data. And it reasons across all of them all at once. Ask it a complex question. It conducts a deep research for you. Point it at a data set, and it surfaces insights and builds dashboards for you. Give it a repetitive task or a process. It automates the workflow end to end. You can use it on the web, desktop, or your mobile app. No AWS account is needed. Anyone in your organization can try it today. With a personal knowledge graph and memory, Quick is proactive. It is not reactive. It knows you and it knows your work. Let me make this real. Over the last 6 months, you added new customers, new projects, new teams. While you once knew every risk in every client conversation, that visibility is not now gone. With Quick, you can ask, what are the open risks across my teams this week? Quick pulls all the sprint data, updates from Jira, the escalation threads from Slack, the client emails, anything that is flagged urgent for you, and gives you one clear brief. An answer in seconds. Then you say, draft the weekly update for leadership. Quick has ready, the context is ready in a few seconds. It's accurate, it's sourced, and ready for you. That's the shift. Quick doesn't just search for your information, it actually understands your work. Like the sales managers at 3M, they wanted to spend more time driving growth and less time collecting information about sales opportunities across 100,000 reps on the teams. Using Amazon Quick, they were able to quickly generate summaries of priority deals and identify how they can close those deals much faster. What used to take managers up to 5 hours of prep, gathering pipeline data, identifying deal risks, preparing for reviews, now it takes minutes with Quick. That's the time it gives you back for your strategic coaching, for your growth, for the work that actually moves the business. But even with the most powerful AI tools at your disposal, there's still something that can hold you back. It is estimated that about 70% of IT budgets are simply about maintaining your legacy systems and legacy code. Why should technology choices that you made a decade ago dictate what's possible today? But modernizing these systems is hard, and it can take years to complete. This is the real pain point, and an area we knew AI can help. We built AWS Transform to help accelerate the large-scale enterprise VMware migrations, mainframe modernization, and full-stack Windows modernization. Transform has already saved over 1.5 million hours of manual migration effort and over 3.8 billion lines of code. And while we knew helping you modernize faster would be popular, it turns out that there is a really long list of legacy code that you do want to transform. Things like Python, Node.js to Rust migration, and much more. So we've asked ourselves, why not support all modernization? And that's why we built AWS Transform Custom. Now you can create custom transformation agents that can modernize any code, API, runtime, even programming languages and frameworks that are unique to your companies. It continually improves accuracy by learning from every execution code change, so you can transform in a much more efficient, reliable way. But it is not just legacy code. AWS Transform helps you modernize your business and your business intelligence. Why should your team wait for 2 weeks to get a new report when a question is there in their head right now? With Transform and Amazon Quick, you can finally tackle those questions and ask simple English questions to get answers from your BI data. This is exactly what Air Canada did. With thousands of Lambda functions running in Node.js 16, Air Canada needed to transform and modernize this to more capable Node.js 20. The team was able to deploy AWS Transform Custom to coordinate and execute the modernization in just a few days. With Transform Custom, they saw 80% reduction in both the time and the cost it took to complete the project than what they had originally thought about. Agents are already changing how the work gets done. But why stop there? Why not build new class of agents that can push the frontier capability forward? Frontier agents are new, more capable class of agents. You can direct them towards a goal and they figure out how to get your objectives met. They can perform multiple concurrent tasks and distribute work across multiple agents at the same time. They can work for hours or days in pursuit of ambitious goals. For example, agents like Kiro are accelerating our ability to write code. But you also need to make sure that every stage of development lifecycle can scale and accelerate at the same pace. At AWS, we have a firm belief to get security right, you have to build it from the ground up. An AWS security agent helps you build applications that are secure from the start. It proactively reviews the design documents and scans your code for vulnerabilities. It can even help you with pen testing, help you find and fix vulnerabilities even before they are found by third parties. We also know that as your service scales, operations can eat up a lot more of their time. And that's why we created AWS DevOps Agent. This agent helps investigate incidents and identify operational improvements, just like an experienced DevOps engineer would. Let's take a look at how it works. Let's say an incident happens and an alarm goes off. Before your on-call engineer even checks in, the AWS agent is investigating the issue. You can see the diagnosing elevated authentication error rates that it found for a Lambda function that connects to your database. It uses the knowledge of our application topology and the relationship between components to work back from the alert and find the root cause of the problem. Let's say use Dynatrace for observability. The DevOps agent will use its built-in integration with Dynatrace to provide more context for the incident. And when it identifies the problem, it tells you the change what change introduced caused it. In this case, it was a simple mistake in your CDK deployment. By the time your on-call engineer logs on, the DevOps agent has found the issue, suggested a change, and even sent it for review for your approval. We are thrilled to see the way agents are delivering value for you. To tell you how one of India's largest logistics network is using AWS to transform the way 550,000 daily shipments reach across 15,000 PIN codes, please welcome DTDC CEO Abhishek Chakraborty.
Thank you, Jigar, for that introduction. As I was listening to you and Sandeep speak, I had a smile on my face because a lot of our mission is very similar to what Amazon said. We are building, but we are delivering for India and delivering for the world. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As I stand here today at the AWS Summit, listening to conversations around cloud, generative AI, intelligent systems, one simple thought comes to my mind. The real problem we are trying to solve at DTDC is actually a very human one, and that is uncertainty. Because logistics at its core is not just about delivering parcels, it's about keeping promises. For us, a package is never just a package. Sometimes it's an eagerly awaited gift, urgent medicines for a parent, exam papers reaching a student, or indeed, critical inventories that keep a business alive. And the interesting thing is, customers notice logistics only when uncertainty begins. Where is my shipment? Is it going to arrive on time? Do I need to have a plan B? Solving for that anxiety is the real business we are in. The irony is very simple. When logistics fail, customers think about us constantly. And when we do our jobs exceptionally well, they don't think about us at all, and that is the dream. To make DTDC feel like invisible certainty, quiet, reliable, and trusted. When we started 36 years ago as a simple relationship-led express company, long before quick commerce and same-day delivery became expectations. But somewhere along that journey, DTDC became so embedded in the very fabric of Indian logistics that we found ourselves in the CBSE Class 6 textbook as an example of the tertiary industry. And I find that thought very humbling, because no founder ever begins a company thinking that someday children will be studying about us before an exam. But there is something deeper in that. When you become part of everyday India, scale of your business drives everything. As Jigar mentioned, for us, scale at DTDC means we operate across 15,000 plus pin codes. We serve 96% of India's population with over 16,500 customer access points, handling nearly 190 million shipments every year. Each of those shipments generates more than 10 unique data points. That's a mouthful, and maybe on paper those numbers might sound impressive, but behind those numbers lies a very unique Indian complexity. Because India does not really behave like a spreadsheet. Our realities are very different. For example, addresses in India may not always say something perfect like Tower B, 15th floor, Bellevue apartments. They could indeed read second lane behind Durga temple, next to Mahalakshmi stores, incomplete, handwritten, and yet each of those shipments carries an expectation that we will be reliably delivering it. That's why I often say that if we have to solve Indian logistical problems, we have to do it in a very Indian way. Following another model somewhere in the world doesn't always work for us. We sometimes have to leapfrog and get to the solution. Now, traditionally in the world, logistics has scaled by growing infrastructure. But if you look at India's unique complexities and then add to it the speed expectations today, I think the real differentiator is intelligence. A network that can predict and solve problems before customers can feel that uncertainty. And that philosophy became one of the foundations of our Vision 2030 journey, moving from express to exponential. Not just becoming bigger, but becoming fundamentally smarter, which is why today, DTDC annually invests nearly 150 crores on technology. Because at our scale, technology drives empathy. A 1% improvement in performance can make a massively positive impact to thousands of lives. And thus, very early on, we realized we needed technology partners who could build alongside us and not just support us. Our journey with AWS began years ago, but much of the intelligence layer of our supply chain that you see today operates on cloud-native AWS technologies. From first to last mile, and indeed our network transformation undergoing right now, AWS has helped us architect the foundation of what comes next. And one of the biggest outcomes of that transformation is DIVA. DIVA stands for DTDC Interactive Virtual Assistant, the first ever conversational AI in the Indian logistics industry that revolutionizes customer experience. Now, what makes Diva important for us is not that she answers questions. What matters is the problems that she solves. Before Diva, a massive volume of customer interactions were repetitive tracking queries. Born out of the same logistical anxiety that I spoke about earlier. And we realized that if you keep trying to solve such large-scale problems by throwing people at it, the model is going to break. And that is not because people are not capable, but it is because we believe human energy should be reserved for problems that require human care and ingenuity, not repetitive ones. Today, just in its first year of operation, Diva has handled for us more than 750,000 customer interactions. 80% of those queries have been answered without requiring any human intervention at a 94% accuracy level. Now, obviously, this has made a massive difference for us operationally. Phone and email queries have shrunk. But what brings a smile to our face is the fact that our customer service teams now spend far lesser time repeating tracking updates and much more time solving critical, high empathy customer situations. And that is where human beings create value. Technology should remove friction, and humans should deliver reassurance. Now, our partnership with AWS has been fundamental and game-changing to give Diva the real shape. You see, with the volumes that we handle, we are sitting on an ocean of information. Our challenge is not getting more data. Our challenge is making sense of it in real time. And that is why when we built Diva, we focused on 4 simple principles. We wanted freedom of the models that we would select. The system had to be very strongly grounded in DTDC's operational context, secure AI environments, and responsible AI guardrails. Built on AWS technologies like Amazon Bedrock, Diva today understands multilingual intent and contextual conversations in more than 17 different Indian languages. Because, ladies and gentlemen, India is not a homogeneous market. It is a deeply diverse nation united under a shared emotional umbrella. And for us at DTDC, that matters very deeply. Because we believe technology should not widen the gap between India and Bharat. It should actually bridge it. And today, beyond Diva, we are leveraging these technologies to broaden the scope of problems we are solving. Whether it is computer vision, reading imperfect handwritten labels, geocoding incomplete addresses, Ride app to improve delivery accuracy, or AI to predict disruptions in the network. Because logistics is ultimately about trust. AI cannot replace trust, accountability, and intent, but it can definitely amplify all 3. For us, innovation is not just about showcasing these futuristic systems. It's building more dependable experiences, because logistics should become seamless for our customers. And this is where we will continue to lean on AWS to play a very critical role, helping us build the systems that ultimately power a simple ambition. Our customers should sleep peacefully knowing that DTDC is on the job. I have a very simple dream for our future. A day when none of us will ever have to track a package again, because the system should already know. If something is delayed, it should inform you before you ask. If there's an incomplete address, the system should figure it out. If there's a disruption, the network should reroute intelligently. Because to me, that is the real promise of agentic AI. Not just answering questions, but eliminating uncertainty itself, so that customers can keep choosing DTDC and never think about us at all. Thank you very much.
Abhishek, it was amazing to show how DTDC is turning 36 years of trust into an intelligent, AI-powered logistic networks that speaks India's language. Agents are incredibly capable, but if you pair them with the same software development process, you're only going to get incremental improvements. We really need to rethink the software engineering process from the ground up. The AI-driven development lifecycle reimagines software development. moving AI from being a productivity tool to being a collaborative partner. We worked with over 300 customers worldwide, validating this approach, and we open source our methodology last year so you can adapt it to your organization. When you combine the AI DLC with Kiro's spec-driven development design and our frontier agents, that's when you'll see real step function change. Whether you're developing autonomous agents, training foundation models, or running the most compute-intensive workloads at scale, we are focused on making AWS the best place to build. Because what's most exciting for us is seeing what you build, what you have when you have freedom to invent anything you want. For example, in Timor-Leste, a small island nation in Southeast Asia, one developer is tracking challenges that impact an entire nation. Let's take a look what he's doing.
My name is Ajit Nelson. I am a data engineer and AI enthusiast from Timor-Leste. Living in a small island nation, I witness waste scattered everywhere. Our government wants to prioritize cleanup, but they don't know where the worst problems are. They need more data. Using AWS services, I built Ecolify to help solve this crisis. Our system identifies waste hotspots, empowers citizens to report issues, and gives authorities the data they need to target their cleanup efforts. This isn't a prototype. It's solving a real crisis today.
This was a great example of what one builder can do with the right tools and right services. And the foundation that makes it all possible is infrastructure, data, and inference all working together. Let's start with infrastructure. Every agent, every model, every application, they run on compute, networking, and storage. Since day one, we have been obsessing about this infrastructure so you don't have to. AWS continues to offer the broadest selection of instances. Whether you're running web servers, video generation, or enterprise-scale ERP, AWS offers the right instance for your job. And we are not slowing down. We recently announced Graviton 5, the next generation general-purpose processor. Graviton 5 gives you 25% enhanced performance while maintaining the energy efficiency that Graviton is known for. We also built a comprehensive, scalable, secure AI infrastructure, such as AWS Trainium, designed to offer the best price performance for AI workloads, and the latest GPU offerings from NVIDIA. AWS is the best place to run AI training workloads. However, you may not want to manage these servers. And that's where Lambda comes in. With Lambda, you write code and we handle everything else. No infrastructure to manage. Lambda works great when you want to execute code quickly. But sometimes you have a use case where your Lambda function needs to wait for a response. Like waiting for an agent that working in the background for several hours or even days. To make this work with Lambda, you needed to spend time writing custom state management and error handling code. That is classic, undifferentiated heavy lifting that you should not be doing. Which is why we built Lambda Durable Functions. Durable functions provide built-in error handling and automatic recovery, making it easy for you to manage the state and build for long-running workflows. If a function pauses for hours or even days, waiting for a callback. It can pick it up right from where it left off. This makes building durable and resilient multi-step applications with Lambda feel as simple as writing any piece of code. Now let's talk about data. When AI can truly understand the unique data that data becomes your differentiator. But the reality is that data is often scattered. It is scattered across databases, data warehouses, data lakes, and applications, and in all disconnected and siloed. If we want AI to truly transform how we work, this fragmentation must be solved first. We want to make it easy for you to find insights, make smarter decisions, and innovate across all of your data. And it all starts with S3. What began as a simple object storage is now the foundation of every data type. The role of storage isn't only to safely store data, it's also to help abstract and decouple data from individual applications. As the pace of application development accelerates with AI, the property of storage has become even more important. Because the easier the data is to access, the more we can explore ways to benefit from it. Last month, we announced Amazon S3 Files, integrating the Amazon Elastic File System into S3. You can mount any S3 bucket inside your EC2 instance, container, or Lambda function, and then access the data through the file system. Now you don't have to copy your data out of S3 to interact with it. You make it available with the S3 files. It's a great example of meeting where developers really want to work. And this extends to how we embrace open formats, open AIs, and open source software. Like our support for Apache Iceberg across S3 analytics and real-time streaming, so you can use wherever Iceberg compatible processing engine you like to use without having to modify your data. We also build catalog capabilities that understand technical metadata, business context, governance rules, and semantic meaning. So whether it's an application, an agent, or you who wants to find answers, our goal is to help you discover and use this data safely and easily. This open data architecture is designed to give the freedom to use any service on any data at any scale with the security and reliability that you have come to expect from AWS for 20 years. It's helping companies like Cox Automotive transform into the AI-first data differentiated enterprise. The world's largest automotive services and technology that provider built by unified data foundation on AWS. By standardizing on Amazon S3 tables with Apache Iceberg, AWS Lake Formation, and Amazon Quick, Cox was able to identify almost 8 petabyte of data estate spanning across 800 million objects and 5.1 trillion annual vehicle insights. This zero ETL data foundation enabled Cox to deploy 18 production AI solutions, which cut the time spent on complex repairs and estimates from 48 hours to just 30 minutes. Inference has become a key building block for applications. But taking AI from prototype to production reliably, securely at enterprise scale is challenging. This is exactly why we built Amazon Bedrock. Bedrock handles model hosting, scaling, security, and integration, so you can focus on the problem you are really trying to solve. And because no single model fits every need, we continue to expand the model selection you have on Bedrock. In fact, we nearly doubled the number of available models in the last year alone. We recently announced the preview of OpenAI GPT models as well. We're thrilled to see how Bedrock's capabilities are helping organizations solve real problems. Let me give you some examples. Like work being done by the Miracle Foundation. When protecting a child's welfare, having the right information surface at the right time, at the right moment is critical. Miracle Foundation's caseworkers face this challenge when managing foster care for all the cases around the globe. To help, they built an AI assistant that analyzes the case files, flags urgent situations, and recommends interventions tailored to each child's unique needs and circumstances. Using Amazon Bedrock, they went from concept to production in weeks, not months, with built-in security and scalability. Caseworkers can now make faster, more informed decisions, helping vulnerable children find stable and safe and permanent homes. We have seen incredible examples of what agents can do. But what agents can do in production is still difficult. You write your agent logic, but then you need to give it memory. We have to configure the identity and access controls and ensure that it can be safely run once it's deployed. That's a lot of work and a lot of things to build before an agent can do anything useful. We launched Amazon Bedrock Agent Core to help you to go from prototype to production in no time. It provides managed runtime with a built-in session memory, a unified identity layer for secure authentication to tools, APIs, and data sources. It includes native observability, so you can see what your agent did and why. And with the new AWS agent registry, you can discover existing agents and tools instead of rebuilding capabilities that somebody had already built. You can use Agent Core with any framework like LangChain, Crew AI, or your own custom code. And you can connect to any model. We don't force you down a fixed path. It's your choice. Because we believe you should have the power to choose the path that works best for you and your problems you're trying to solve. A great example of this is our recent announcement with OpenAI. With Amazon Bedrock Managed Agents powered by OpenAI, you can quickly build agents that maintain persistent memory across sessions, execute multi-step workflows, and take autonomous actions. It delivers faster execution, sharper reasoning, and reliable long-term running agent tasks. And every agent operates with its own identity, logs every action, and runs inside your VPCs with all the inference of Amazon Bedrock. We covered a lot of ground today. From Kiro reimagining how we write software to quick making entire teams smarter, to the infrastructure, data, and inference that powers it all. And if I take a step back and think about what ties all this together, it's you, it's all of you. Everything I've shared today is possible because of the foundation we've built together for the last 20 years. We want to remove every barrier standing between you, your imagination, and reality, so that you don't have to accept the limitations of today as the boundaries for tomorrow. Please continue to be curious, continue to invent, and most importantly, continue to build. I really enjoyed my time speaking with you. I really appreciate it, and thank you for being here. Enjoy your summit. I love Mumbai and I love your energy. Thank you very much.